As usual, when I make a prediction on this channel, I upset a lot of people, and then people realize that I was right. And I always say, look, if you get upset, wait for it. Just wait for it, and then you can call me out if I was wrong. So far, all of my predictions, especially the ones regarding the pandemic, have turned accurate. The only prediction that I made wrong was that Russia is not going to invade Ukraine. I made a lot of predictions, like this one surprised me. I didn't expect them to invade during mud season. Well, I guess it happened. In hindsight, out of like hundreds of predictions that I made, one was inaccurate. Pretty big one, I know. But regarding pandemic, like including when the pandemic is going to be lifted, I was correct. So, now I'm going to make another prediction. A lot of people are worried that we're going to see mandates coming back. And, you're going to have to go to the McDonald's, show QR, you're going to have to mask up when you're walking out. I predict it's not going to happen. Or if it does happen, it's going to be like some places with some fringe restrictions that are going to be lifted soon anyway. I will say why this is, right? So like, first of all, why do people believe that this is a thing? Well, Alex Jones, which, a lot of people call him a conspiracy theorist, but let's be honest, a lot of the things he have said have come to light, and because of this, when the mainstream media says this man is crazy, and it gets a lot of people to listen to that man, and when the man turns out to be right several times, then people are going to expect that he's going to be right in the future, right? So, Alex Jones came out and he said that he heard it from a friend that the United States government is going to have the restrictions back on planes. And he called someone else and that other person confirmed it, right? So, like, it's basically a he said, she said type of story. And now you also have articles from Great Britain First saying that new COVID variants read scientists demanding rules from lockdown to be reimposed. Now, when you read the article, it does say that there are some scientists that say this, but they do not give names. They do not say how many. They do not say what positions of power they have. So I don't really see anything that would lead me to believe that the lockdowns are going to be reimposed. Now, when you go into The Guardian, you see that the new variant is indeed something that people are watching closely. However, they do not consider it to be more deadly. So they say that, yeah, like it's a variant that's more resistant to what we have, and of course it affects people a lot more easier, though they don't say that it is more deadly. And because of that, I do not expect to see restrictions, right? The medical argument isn't there. But then let's look at the social argument. Would people put up with restrictions now? And I think it depends from country to country, state to state. But a lot of nations on Earth would probably not put up with it, especially due to certain scandals that are taking place. There are even people that are looking back, like politicians that are looking back, and they said that, okay, well, maybe the restrictions were too harsh, or maybe they were a mistake, right? In Romania, for instance, I remember, like, before the pandemic got lifted officially, like, people stopped caring about it. So like, even though, like, all the mandates were in place, and even though, like, people had to behave in a certain way, like, show QR codes and stuff, you had, like, 100 people showing one QR code. Like, literally, people were sharing their QR codes amongst each other, and then entering the mall using the same one. You had police officers that would see people without masks and not enforcing it, not giving a fine, not doing anything, just walking away. When you reach that level of non-compliance, which is peaceful, it's not violent, it's just people stop caring about the rules, I don't think you can even enforce them if you want to. Like you would have to change the entire police station. And even the police station, the reason they get away with it is because, like, their higher-ups don't give a shit. So, like, you'd have to change the entire system of enforcement. And even then, you'd probably have problems because the population would still resist you. So, in many countries, it's not just mine, but, like, in many countries here in Eastern Europe, like, this became a thing where people just flat out stopped caring about it. And if you were to, like, try to impose it now, I think people would be even more rejected against it. Like they would be even less susceptible to the compliance. And I just don't see it happening. All right, like I know that a lot of people they're saying, "Oh my God, well it's because there's election in the United States." Okay, well let's look at it. The rules for the elections in the United States, as far as I know, have already been done, right? So like there are some states which still accept mail-in ballots. There are other states that have different measures, but I do not expect the laws to change right now. I do not think that so close to the elections they're going to change the rules. Um, Again, like if I'm wrong, feel free to call me out when I'm going to be proven wrong. But I don't think that is the case. I genuinely think that what's going to happen is that maybe some places like yeah, I saw a couple of hospitals that are going to say, okay, well we're going to isolate the patients with COVID from those that don't have it. You may have like a new booster shot that's coming up. You may have like a couple of TV anchors that are going to fearmonger because it's good for ratings. But overwhelmingly, I do not expect and to have like this comeback to even like the beginning of the pandemic, right? So and there's also the economic reason as well. I mean, there's still a war in Ukraine. The idea that the West is going to cripple its own economy while the war is still going is very difficult to believe. Again, I may be wrong, but I'm looking at it through all sides, and I just don't see it. It's not as simple like many people believe. It's like, oh well, it's like flipping a button, and all of a sudden everyone does what they're told, and like the conspiracy happens. Like in the real world, things are more complex. I mean, if you happen to run a World of Warcraft guild or even a Discord server, you would know how difficult it is to micromanage people. So like even if you have like a Discord server or a business or anything like that, the boss wants something, but down the line, like there are people that have free will and they will say no. And in this situation, yeah, and let's assume that it would happen. Like let's assume that they would have lockdowns and shit. I genuinely think that even in the United States, even in states that are completely blue, you would have people that would vote against the candidate that instilled the lockdowns, because even people on the left are getting tired of this. Like I think that maybe like there's a group of like extreme far leftists that, despite the fact that the masks were lifted and they were still masking up and stuff, like there may be like a small fringe group, but like overwhelmingly most people are not happy with it. And even like the Guardian says this, right? Like even the Guardian is saying that most people do not want more lockdowns and stuff. So we'll see, I guess. But usually I am very confident that I'm not wrong with this. Let me know what you guys think, and as usual, I will see you in the comment section. Take care.